So we just had a Nintendo Direct earlier for games coming to the Switch 1 right before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. And it will likely be the final Direct fully focused on the Nintendo Switch. And from what I gather, it seems to have gotten a positive reaction. Most people kept their expectations in check, seeing how we're getting another Direct in less than a week, more likely to show off much bigger, heavy-hitting games. Not saying this Direct didn't have any solid announcements. We got a more in-depth look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Pokemon Legends ZA, the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remakes, Rhythm Heaven Groove, Pawn, Pata Pawn, and that new app for Nintendo news because I'm guessing they're getting tired of Twitter. Can't blame them. I don't think there were many people disappointed. Silksong fans on the other hand. Well, I'm satisfied, and I'm the one person on this planet that isn't a Tamagotchi Life fan. Yeah, do people actually want this? Is this just some sort of inside joke that I'm not in on, or...? Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
Did you want to talk?
Yes, I do. About 2/3 into the Direct, Nintendo showed a spotlight on this new feature coming in April. The Virtual Game Cards. A way to easily transfer digital purchased games from the eShop between consoles and between friends and family in similar fashion to physical game cartridges. By loading the digital games and sorting them in a special menu on the home screen, this will make transferring games and save data much easier compared to re-downloading the games via the eShop that runs like walking through a swamp, the thick muddy water in this case being the thick sloppy hentai games. It's all AI. Or sharing the games via the online family plan or between accounts. These come with their own limitations, as lack as they are. This is a very consumer-friendly move. In a day and age where many AAA publishers don't even bother trying to hide their contempt for physical games, fighting tooth and nail to combat the very concept of digital ownership, and ownership in general. It's refreshing to see such a big publisher, especially one like Nintendo, which sometimes can't help but get stuck in the past with archaic business practices, do something that doesn't directly benefit them financially, but rather just makes it easier on us, the customers, to access our library and do more with the games we purchase on their storefront. The reason so many companies want us to purchase their products in a digital format as opposed to physical is obvious. It's because they make more money on that purchase directly, and it's less of a loss since there isn't a factor of printed copies, which do take a considerable amount of cost. How convenient that this announcement was right before the Switch 2 launches, after its first Direct. They confirmed that this feature will work between Switch 1 and 2, but only the Switch 1 games can be transferred to Switch 2 and not vice versa. I didn't want to say 2 in the script, and that'll be harder to avoid with this Temu looking ass fridge magnet. And now that I brought up the Switch 2, I want to bring attention to this little footnote at the bottom of the page explaining the VGCs on Nintendo's website. It states that Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games can only be loaded on a Nintendo Switch 2 system. This confirms that we already could have guessed that Switch 2 games can't be played on an original Switch since it would probably self-destruct, but does give us a little kernel of copium that we could see some of the top Switch games get higher performing versions on the Switch 2. More frames and pixels to admire our heroic alien hunk. But that does raise a question. How are they going to do this? How will they give us these new additions to these games most people who will be buying a Switch 2 close to launch likely already own? Will it be like Sony, where if you already own the game on PS4, physical or digital, they'll offer the PS5 upgrade for just $10? Or Xbox's way of letting you buy the game and letting you choose which version of the game to download because there are more devices labeled Xbox than there are exclusives for the thing, not including the ones that suck? Or perhaps they'll offer it as a free downloadable update patch, or the worst case scenario, charging full price for the glorified re-releases, which is what Nintendo throughout all of the Switch's life did with the Wii U games. Granted, no one bought the fucking thing, so I get it. Let's just hope it's a fair deal coming from Nintendo, which hopefully the success of the Switch hasn't got their head too far up their ass. I like to stay optimistic with them, but occasionally, just like everything else in my life, sometimes my worst fears come to light, and I'm stuck in place envisioning the worst possible scenario, and I think, man, The VGC thing isn't a way for them to excuse ditching physical media and saying, see, you can trade games with your friend just like the real thing, and you don't need those nasty tasting cartridges anymore. Here, we'll just burn those for you, on the house. That's probably not what these are for, but it's fun to let the mind wander and scare you shitless. I'm gonna die alone. I'm never gonna get a new Kid Icarus game. But don't let your intrusive thoughts win. You know what Sonic says, never trust how you feel about your life past 9 p.m. I'm excited for the Switch 2, and I hope you are too. Tell me what you want to see at that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you when I stream the event live here on my channel, and hopefully it won't be an absolute shitshow. My stream, not the Direct. Hopefully. I just want Kid Icarus Uprising, please!